Hello everyone, this is this week's Problem of the Week solution video for November 13th Problem of the Week, which is no duplicates. Firstly, let's read through it, and then we can review a possible solution for it. The problem description goes as follows. There is a game in which you try not to repeat a word, while your opponent tries to see if you have repeated one, and then they give three sample kind of phrases. First phrase is, the rain in Spain, and that phrase does not have any repeated words. However, the second phrase, in the rain and the snow, repeats the word the, while the third phrase, the rain in Spain in the plain, repeats both the words the and the word in. And our objective here is to write a program to test a phrase. And a little bit of information about our input. They say it's going to be a line containing words separated by single spaces, this will be useful later on, where a word consists of one or more uppercase letters. And they also say that a line contains no more than 80 characters. And our expected output here is to say yes if no word is repeated, and we would want to output no if one or more words are repeated. And down here is the sample inputs. They actually gave it to us in the top as well. So essentially the way I would want to approach this is that we could split up the phrase into multiple individual words, and then we would evaluate if any of these parts have been duplicated. Then we would either return yes or no based on the condition. And yeah. So let's look at the code in Python. So we're in the code, and as you can see here, we take first our input. In Python, the input method returns a string by default. But then we immediately actually split it into a list. The .split method takes a string, and then we can specify basically what character to split it by. Our parameter right now, we're feeding it in a single space, which is what the program says. They said that a lot of words are in a phrase and they're separated by a single space. So basically by specifying what character we want to split it by, we're splitting it into individual words, and that's going to be a list that we are saving to the variable x for now. And a minor thing here, we're just making an empty list that we're going to use in the next step, which is going to be counting the duplicates. Just basically see if the word is repeated or not. So this for loop that we have right here, where I is that element in a list, just an example variable, and x is the entire list that we want to iterate through. We basically apply the element.count method. What this will basically do is it will scan within the entire list for the item that we just specified here, and we're specifying the element I. What it'll do is it'll search for this word inside the entire list, and if it returns more than one, then we know that there is a duplicate, or rather multiple occurrences of that word. We will append this number to the list that we just created here. So that's just a way for keeping track of all the words. So we want to apply this to the entire list. So by taking the maximum amount of that list, we are guaranteeing that we catch any duplicates if there are any. So let's say we had no duplicates. The list would not have any number that's greater than 1. So our maximum would be 1. However, if there was a duplicate, then what this line of code basically does, it will take the duplicate and then, or rather the greatest amount of occurrences a single word has, and it saves it to this variable. Our last step basically is to compare this to the number 1. If it is going to be greater than 1, then we know that there is a duplicate, and we would print out the problem requirement, which is no. Else, basically, if count is equal to 1, then we would print out yes, which is what the program expects us to do. So let's do some sample inputs. Let's go back here. The first sample input, let's try the rain in Spain, and we would expect that to say yes. Our second sample input could be in the rain and the snow, and we would expect the program to output no. So let's check it here. Running it, the rain in Spain. And the program is saying yes, which is what we expect. And to check the no condition, in the rain and the snow. And as you hit enter, The program does output no, which is what we expected.